Friends, today our last class in chemical reaction. Okay, we are proceeding. Our last chapter means our last topic, that is the Rox reaction, and after that just we have to discuss about rancidity and corrosion. So rancidity and corrosion are the last topic of this chapter. In my previous class, just I had taught you about Rox reaction, means those reactions in which oxidation and reduction both take place simultaneously are called redox reaction. And for this, just I had given an example, and now today just I am going to write that example. Your example was zinc oxide plus carbon gives carbon monoxide plus zinc, or you can write first zinc or carbon monoxide, zinc plus carbon monoxide. Just from zinc oxide, removal of oxygen takes place because at the product side we are seeing zinc is alone. So since removal of oxygen takes place from zinc oxide, so we can say zinc oxide is reduced or gets reduced into zinc, means reduction. And in case of carbon, we are seeing here in or towards the reactant side carbon is alone, but towards product side carbon is with oxygen, and it tells us about the addition of oxygen. So we can say carbon gets oxidized or oxidation. So we have seen here in this reaction, oxidation and reduction both take place simultaneously. So it is called redox oxidation reduction oxidation reaction, means redox reaction, because just I have said redox reaction also known as reduction and oxidation reaction. Just you should know here just we have to use two more terms, in which one is called oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent, and this is reducing agent. Means in this reaction zinc oxide acts as an oxidizing agent, whereas carbon acts as a reducing agent. What is the meaning of this oxidizing agent and reducing agent? Listen carefully. Those substances which oxidize the other substance, those substances which oxidize the other substance called oxidizing agent, and those substances which reduce the other substance called reducing agent. Since here carbon reduces the zinc oxide by taking oxygen from the zinc, since carbon helps in the reduction of zinc oxide into zinc, so it is called a reducing agent. But if we take the example of zinc oxide, then we are seeing zinc oxide helps in the oxidation of carbon by giving its oxygen to the carbon. Zinc oxide helps in the oxidation of carbon by giving its oxygen to the carbon. So since zinc oxide helps in the oxidation of carbon, so it is called oxidizing agent. But itself it is a reduction takes place in the case of zinc oxide. So and in case of carbon, oxidation takes place, but itself it is a reducing agent. So we can say those substances which help in the oxidation of other substance are called oxidizing agent, and those substances which help in the reduction of other substances are called reducing agent. In case of this reaction, zinc oxide acts as an oxidizing agent and carbon acts as a reducing agent. Now, today just we have discussed about corrosion. Next topic is corrosion. What is corrosion? Listen. Corrosion is a process in which a metal reacts with the gases and moisture present in the atmosphere and forms a layer of a new compound on its surface. Once again, listen, what is corrosion? Corrosion is a process in which metal reacts with the gases and moisture present in the atmosphere and forms a layer of new substance on its surface. in case of iron, this corrosion process is called rusting. Why? Because when iron reacts with the oxygen and moisture, means water present in the atmosphere, then it forms a layer of a new compound that is called Fe2O3.XH2O. This is the compound which is formed on the surface of the iron, and this compound is called hydrated iron oxide, and this hydrated iron oxide is also called rust. Since rust is formed in the form of a new compound on the surface of the iron during the corrosion, so the corrosion process which takes place in iron is called rusting. We can't use the term rust or rusting for the other metal, because in case of other metal, new substance which is called rust is not formed on its surfaces. So this rust is formed only on the surface of iron when iron reacts with the gas, oxygen and moisture present in the atmosphere. So since rust is formed on the surface of iron only, so the corrosion which takes place in iron is called rusting. So we are seeing here, in the process of corrosion, a layer of new substance is formed on the surface of the metal. When that metal reacts with the gases and moisture present in the atmosphere. You should know, different metals react with different gases present in the atmosphere. For example, you will see when you use the ornament like chain made of silver in your neck, then you will see after some days that chain made of silver turns black. Why? Because silver reacts with the hydrogen sulfide gas present in the atmosphere in a rare case, and when silver reacts with the hydrogen sulfide, then it forms a layer of new compound that is called silver sulfide on the surface of the silver. Since silver sulfide is formed on the surface of the ornament, and silver sulfide, the color of silver sulfide is black, so the ornament made of silver turns black after some times or some days. Once again, just I am going to explain this, why the ornaments made of silver turns black after some days. Because silver reacts with the hydrogen sulfide gas which is present in a rare amount in our atmosphere. When silver reacts with the hydrogen sulfide, then it forms a new compound on its surface that is called silver sulfide, and since the color of silver sulfide is black, so the ornament made of silver also turns black after some days. So what is corrosion? Just I hope you understand, or you are understanding. Now just we will see about rancidity. What is rancidity? Just I am going to write here a new topic, that is rancidity. Can you explain what is rancidity? Just I am going to write here rancidity. What is rancidity? Listen. The food substances containing oil and fat gets oxidized, then their taste and smell become changed. This is called rancidity. Means rancidity is a process in which the food substances containing oil and fat reacts with the oxygen present in the atmosphere. Means we can say they get oxidized. As a result, their smell and taste become changed. Now, to avoid rancidity, we keep our food substances in the airtight containers, and you will see that chips manufacturer flush the packet of chips with nitrogen gas, because nitrogen acts as an antioxidant, means it prevents the oxidation. As a result, the smell and taste of the food materials containing oil and fats becomes unchanged. So this is called rancidity, and in this way, today just I have finished your chapter, and from next day we will start our new chapter.